Introducing Instagram Teen Accounts, a new way to keep your teen safer as they grow. Like making sure they always have their seatbelt on.
All right, sweetie pie, buckle up. Good job.
Or ring the bell on their bike.
Okay, kid, give it a try. Nice.
Or remember their elbow pads.
Knees too, okay? Yep. There you go.
New Instagram Teen Accounts. Automatic protections for who can contact your teen and the content they can see.
Lowe's knows that your deadlines don't change, even when your job does. But with Lowe's Buy Online, Pick Up in Store, we'll help you adjust on the fly. And when you absolutely can't leave the project, we can deliver to your job site as soon as same day. Lowe's knows pros. We help, you save. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to drive smarter with high-tech features and excellent reliability. Check out the Honda Civic, Accord, or HR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 4.99% APR on a 2025 Civic or a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Accord or HR-V.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si and Type R.
All right, so let's get into it, man. Now we got one of my favorite series, which I think is probably going to be my favorite here, but still here with my special guest, Thomas Tyree from On the Hot Podcast. Definitely check it out. He's here to help me break down some of these playoffs matchup. And this next matchup here, you got the number 3 seed in the New York Knicks taking on the number 6 seed in the Detroit Pistons. Now, you know who I'm going to pick, and I think everybody listening to this know who I'm going to pick, so I got to hear from you. What you think going to happen in this series between the Pistons and the Knicks?
Honestly, this is going to be music to your ears. I think this is going to be one of the best series in the first round, and I had the Detroit Pistons winning.
Okay.
I think it's going to 7. It's going to go down in the Garden at Madison Square Garden. But I think the Cade Cunningham takeover is here. I mean, the Pistons are 3-1 against the New York Knicks in the regular season this year.
Yes, sir.
The Knicks have a bad track record of beating good teams. I don't know why. They just can't beat good teams.
This is true.
So Cade Cunningham, I think he's going to be the best overall player in this series. And he's played like a elite point guard or elite guard this year. Across the entire NBA, he's averages 26 points per game. And I feel like the Detroit Pistons are going to come out there and send a message to the New York Knicks. Plus, a lot of people talk about the upcoming that your team has had, but a lot of people fail to realize it's been a top 10 team defensively since the All-Star break. So I think the Pistons are going to give the New York Knicks a run for the money. I think it was a bad draw for the Knicks in the first round.
Hey, man.
I got the Pistons winning in 7.
In 7? Okay. In 7, the Pistons winning in 7. Look, I'll address that. But Thomas, bro, look, man, you better preach, dog, because you over here spitting facts. You're spitting straight facts, man. Everybody sleep on the Pistons, and then I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. As soon as they beat the Knicks, everybody going to wake up, and they going to want to be on the hype train of what the Pistons is doing and what the Pistons got to do and how great they are and how great they may possibly be. But everything you said, I think you hit it right on the money, bro. Pistons are definitely here. They've shown it, and if anybody who watched the Pistons play, you can clearly see that they're a talented team that's ready to beat the New York Knicks in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Like, it doesn't get any more evident than watching these two teams battle multiple times throughout the year. The Pistons have beat the Knicks 3 times this year. The Knicks have beat the Pistons once. Twice at Madison Square Garden, where the Pistons have won. Cade has dropped a triple-double multiple times against the New York Knicks, and it's clear that they do not have an answer for Cade Cunningham. A lot of people want to sit on here and they want to comment and stuff. I be seeing y'all in the comments too. They love saying, oh, well, wait until OG Anunoby gets to guard him. Wait until this guy gets to guard. Wait until he get to guard him. And guess what Cade do every single time? Triple-double. Take another triple-double. That's it, and go home with an L. That's exactly what Cade Cunningham does every time he goes to the Garden, every time he see the New York Knicks. So I don't know why all of a sudden these Knickerbockers think something is just going to be different and they think something is going to change when that is not going to be the case. And if I have to give a prediction, I know I'm talking crazy about the Pistons, but no, seriously, I think the Pistons can wrap this up in 6 games. I know you mentioned 7 games, but I think they could wrap it up in 6 games just because they're playing great basketball as is. And I mean, man, when these guys are rolling, they're rolling and they're solid defensively. And the Knicks they've been up and down, man. They've been so inconsistent whenever I look at the game of the New York Knicks. So it's like, I don't feel threatened by like if I'm the Detroit Pistons, I don't feel threatened by the Knicks at all. Coming into this series just because the Knicks have been so inconsistent.
Yeah, you had a lot of good points. Well, Cade Cunningham, this is a guy that's not only playing like an elite guard this year, one of the best guards in the league, but this is somebody that is a closer. He's had some game-winning shots. Like, I mean, I texted you and we talked about that. What he did to the Heat in Miami, man.
Yeah.
He's doing these type of things all year long, and then the inconsistency with the New York Knicks has been a vocal point that I followed. Yeah, they're seeding-wise, they're a top 3 team, but that doesn't show the overall picture of what they really have played like. Because if you can't beat teams like the best teams, they're 0-2. They have a combined record against the top 3 teams of OKC, Boston, and Cleveland, 0-12. And then you're 3-1 against the Detroit Pistons. How can anybody trust or believe what you're doing?
Come on, man.
And then, to your point with the defensive matchup of OG possibly being on Cade Cunningham, I've said this in the past about the Knicks. They are a good team, but there is something doesn't click for me with their wing pair, Mikal Bridges and OG out there in New York. Something just doesn't click for me.
This is so true.
So if somebody like Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns does not show up the entire duration of the series, no matter how long it goes on, the Knicks are in trouble, and I feel like the Pistons are going to capitalize on that. So I said 7, you said 6. I think 6 could be reasonable because if it goes to 6 in Detroit, the Pistons might want to put it away there before they go back on the road.
I'm telling you, I think 6 games is all the Pistons need. The Knicks, they pride themselves on being tough and physical. Guess what the Detroit Pistons are? Tough and physical, and they're even more consistent in that area. But really, I want to go back to that point that you made of against the top teams. The Knicks have not won. They're frauds. I'm sorry. The Knicks are frauds. And everybody is going to see it in the playoffs. And at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, you're just going to have to accept the fact that the Knicks are fraudulent. That's exactly what they are. And they've shown signs of this all throughout the season because there's no reason that you're losing against all of the top teams. They're 0-10. You played the Cleveland Cavaliers 4 times, didn't win a single time. You played the Boston Celtics 4 times, didn't win a single time. You played the Oklahoma City Thunder twice, didn't win a single time. Like, it's embarrassing, and they're frauds, bro. To me, I would have to see them go in and really smack the Pistons up to change my mind from everything I've witnessed of the regular season. But until then, until I see them change my mind, then I'm dying by Pistons in 6 without a doubt. I don't think that's crazy. I don't think it's wild. I know there's a lot of people out here who hasn't really watched Pistons games, so they're not really aware. But for anybody who's watched Detroit basketball and watched Pistons play basketball this season, I think you have a clear understanding that yes. More than one game, I should say. You have a clear understanding that, yes, they can actually make some damage happen and get the Knicks up out of here. And don't be surprised when it happens either.
Yeah, not a bad take at all, bro. Not a bad take at all.
Yeah, man. So with the Pistons, I think they'll be good. I think they'll be good. And I think they have a legitimate shot to make something happen as well. Obviously, I said I'm going to vote on them. I'm going Pistons in 6 games. You got them going in 7 games. I wouldn't be mad at 7 games. I just want them to get out the first round, which I think is very reasonable. However, there's another playing game, and this playing game is for, the playoffs. So let's go ahead and bring this to attention as well. I think it's necessary that we discuss this team here. So the Golden State Warriors will be taking on the Memphis Grizzlies here, and the winner of this game will be moving on to the 7th seed or something like that. And then they'll be playing to see if they ultimately get the 7th or 8th seed. But the winner of this game is going to get in the playoffs regardless between the Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies. In this matchup here, initially, I'm like, the Warriors got it. But watching the way the Warriors closed out the season, it did not make me happy. It did not look good. It didn't look like a team where I could really stand behind and have faith in, watching the way they closed out that last game. It looked awful. So now you're going against the Memphis Grizzlies, who've been pretty much balling. Ja Morant's been killing it. He's been, lighting people up literally and dropping bombs on them. Ja Morant's been hooping. And they also have a Defensive Player of the Year on there who I think should get it. But Memphis Grizzlies, you can't sleep on them, man. I'm going with the Memphis Grizzlies in this play-in game. I just think they're still talented, and at this point, they've seen the Warriors enough where they're not really shocked anymore about a Draymond Green, a Stephen Curry, and all the stardom and the experience there. Grizzlies also are kind of an experienced playoff team, and they've been in these situations multiple times. So I think the Grizzlies can stand tall and beat the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, all right, Manny.
Who you got? Let's hear it.
I'm going to have to, whoever sees the video part of this is going to be laughing, but Ja Morant with the several gun gestures and picking several GTA different gun gestures in basketball games, or him throwing grenades to the crowd like he's playing Call of Duty Warzone, that ain't going to cut it for this playing tournament game Tuesday. I'm going with the Warriors. I think they've just been a much better team. Even though they finished a little under what we expected to close out the season. They showed me the type of energy that they're going to bring to the playoffs. I was watching that epic game yesterday between them and the Clippers that ended in overtime with the Clippers winning, but that type of ball game felt like it was a playoff atmosphere game, and they were holding on to the very end, and they just made a few mistakes and lost. But I think the Warriors have been playing better overall than the Grizzlies have been in the second half, with the Warriors acquiring Jimmy Butler. And I feel like they're playing much better on both sides of the court. I don't have much faith in the Grizzlies because the firing of Taylor Jenkins also so late into the season, that is hurting the Grizzlies, a young team that needs coaching guidance. And that was another mistake that happened too. So I think the Grizzlies will escape eventually out of the play-in tournament, but I don't think they'll win Tuesday night against the Warriors.
Okay, so I got a question. I gotta propose something to you, because you mentioned obviously Grizzlies have been shaky, but this is a team, both teams have honestly been shaky. and I think that's been evident for anyone who's been looking at the games. They've both been shaky, but it doesn't concern you. The way that you mentioned the Warriors stayed around in that Clippers matchup, and it felt like a playoff game, but it doesn't concern you that they actually lost the game.
It didn't really. I mean, they should have won that game.
That's what I'm saying, though.
There was some things going. I mean, Steph Curry had the hand wrap, but that didn't bother him. He had one hell of a game. The Jimmy Butler towards the end got hobbled up. He was trying to defend a block on Kawhi Leonard, but they ended up colliding knees. So he was basically still out there, but limping, and wasn't really effective to take a final shot to possibly tie the game to go in a second overtime. Plus, Draymond Green made a mistake in that game. I don't know why they gave him the ball to try to.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's stuff like that where it's going to come back to haunt you, because you can't just brush it off and all of a sudden you ain't making mistakes no more. This has been a team, they've been making these type of mistakes the last 10 games of the season, and then all of a sudden in a game where you needed to win to secure a playoff spot, you end up making some more mistakes. So I really feel like that's going to happen against the Memphis Grizzlies if it comes down to it. We've seen them make mistakes in these crucial games that they needed to win, that are must win, and now you're going in the play-in to play again for a play-in spot. And who's to say that same silly type of mistake might not happen? They might give it to Draymond Green and say, hey, cook something up again. Like, it's insane. And that's where I'm thinking about, like, okay, well, yeah, I want to have faith in the Warriors, but I really can't have faith in the Warriors because they keep proving me wrong each time.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, so it's weird. And then the Grizzlies, that's just a hungry team, bro. That's a hungry team. Like, yeah, they lost Taylor Jenkins, which I do think is, if they get in the playoffs, they're out of there first round. Just kiss it goodbye. They're out of there first round for sure, without a doubt. But man, this is just one game we talking, and that's the tough part about the play-in as well, because it's literally just one game. Anything can happen in this one game, and that's it.
Yeah, that's facts. And I think regardless who wins, I know Ja is going to come out playing very well and effective. I want to see how the rest of the team responds. I know Jaren Jackson is there, possibly could win another Defensive Player of the Year award. I want to see how the rest of this supporting cast that Ja Morant has playing against this Golden State Warriors team tomorrow. I want to see how the depth matches up against the Warriors, and I want to see how the bench plays a factor as well.
Yeah, I think the biggest part for the Warriors, they're going to need their support. They're going to need everybody to step up. But with the Grizzlies, the difference maker for them, I think, will be Desmond Bane. If Desmond Bane, Ja Morant, and we get Defensive Player of the Year in there, and he's doing his thing. Jaren Jackson, all three of them, if they show up big and they have a solid game, not necessarily anything spectacular, but if they show up and they have a solid game, then I think they could get the Warriors.
Yeah, that's a good point that you made.
I think they got them. But anyway, I mean, I guess we're just gonna have to find out. We just gonna have to watch and find out, and from there, that game comes on Tuesday. That's kicking. Actually, no, that's the late game. So that'll be happening later on Tuesday night. We'll find out who's getting that 7th or 8th seed, and moving on and definitely securing the playoff spot. So it'll be interesting there. Anything you want to go ahead and add, feel free to, drop your socials, or if you just got one hot take you just got to get off your chest, go ahead and drop it on us if you need.
Yeah, you can check us out on socials of On the Hop 08 on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You can check us out on Apple Podcasts as well. That's where you can find On the Hop Podcast. A hot take that I have, a really hot take that I have.
Let's hear it.
Man, it's a hot take.
All right, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
The Lakers might get to the Western Conference Finals.
Oh, bro. No way. No way.
I'm not saying they will, but depending on everything plays out, they could get to the Western Conference Finals this year.
Thomas, I wasn't expecting you to say this, man. Not you. Not you. No, not you. Not all people. Not you. Not you. You got them going to the conference finals?
They may. I'm not saying they will, but okay. So let's see. They're the 3rd seed. I think they could beat the Timberwolves. They would have to play. Who would they play in the second one? The winner of the Nuggets and Clippers, right?
Nuggets, yeah. Yep. Pulling up. I'm pulling the bracket back up too. So. They would end up playing, if they went on, they beat the Timberwolves. From there, they would play Nuggets or Clippers.
Yeah, bro. I don't know. I can see it happening. That if it's Lakers or Clippers, that's going to 7. Like we said, the Clippers were going to beat the Nuggets, but yeah, bro, I can see it. I can see the Lakers getting there.
Oh man, I don't know, bro. I really don't have faith in the Lakers, bro. I don't have faith in the Lakers, man. I don't know what it is. They're still just. I think it's. I get they got Bron and Luka, which everybody is drooling over still, but I just don't think they have the complete team they need in order to go that far.
Which makes sense because the big question mark is the big, but Jackson Hayes has been playing pretty solid. Yeah. And I think that's why I favor them against the Timberwolves, because somebody that's a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, and Rudy Gobert, for some reason, struggles against small ball lineups. I don't know why. Bro,
that's because them Defensive Player of the Year awards was fluke, man. That's what it was. It was he didn't earn them, bro. Them Defensive Player of the Year awards was fluke, man. that was ridiculous. But no, that was a bomb, bro. I wasn't expecting that. So now I gotta ask, who you got winning it all? Who you got winning the finals this year?
Winning it all, that is.
And then we'll wrap up.
I'll go over some quick scenarios. I don't have somebody right now, but the favorites I would have to say the Celtics, OKC, and the Cavs. Now the Celtics are questionable to me because they got the committee to bring back 13 out of 15 players that just won a championship last year. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you, the Jaylen Brown right knee injury is not being talked about a lot. He's taking injections for his right knee right now.
I heard.
A bruised bone in his knee. And he's not 100% healthy. So that is going to be questionable to see how they play. But I think they could get back to the Eastern Conference. The Cavs, I got a lot of faith in them. OKC, I got a lot of faith in them. This could play out with one of these top seeds being knocked off or upset at some point based off of who's going to get there this year in the East or the West.
Yeah, so I kind of agree with you. I'm the same way right now. I don't really have a definite pick, but I one thing I can be sure about, I 1,000% think the winner of the NBA Finals will be a team from the Eastern Conference. Whether it's the Boston Celtics or whether it's the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Detroit Pistons, I would just, the third one is wishful thinking. I ain't gonna lie, but no, seriously though, I think between the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers, they can probably beat anybody. If Celtics goes back to the finals, they're winning the finals without a doubt.
Yeah.
So that's my hot take, I guess, if anything. But no, man, look, we about to get up out of here. I do appreciate you joining, bro. Of course, always a pleasure having you on the show. It's always super fun having you on the show, hearing your thoughts and picking your brain about different things. I'm going to go ahead and you dropped your socials and all of that stuff too. So, if you're listening, go ahead, check them out on social, man. Check out the takes and all of that too. So I'm going to leave y'all on a positive note. And the positive note here is just going to be, take a break if you need to, and then just come back stronger. Take a break if you need to and come back stronger. I ain't saying how long the break got to be, but, just take a break if you need to and then come back stronger. So I ain't saying you got to take 5 years, 10 years, 3 weeks, 3 days, whatever. Whatever break is comfortable for you, that's what you need to do. So, yeah, other than that, man, that's all I got for y'all. So I appreciate you for tuning in. We'll be back later on this week. And then follow us on Instagram as well, at The Run Podcast, TikTok at The Run Podcast, YouTube at The Run Podcast. Wherever you get your podcasts and watch your sports stuff, check us out on there. And then, yeah, man, we'll be back later on this week. And so on and so on and so on.
Building a business may feel like a big jump, but OnDeck Small Business Loans can help keep you afloat. With lines of credit up to $100,000 and term loans up to $250,000, OnDeck lets you choose the loan that's right for your business. As a top-rated online small business lender, OnDeck's team of loan advisors can help you find the right business loan to fit your needs. Visit OnDeck.com for more information. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank. OnDeck does not lend in North Dakota. All loans and amounts subject to lender approval.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Calling all daydreamers and date nighters. Come immerse yourself in the rich culture of Texas and dig into our mouth-watering barbecue. Trailblazers can explore our natural wonders. And beach lovers will wonder why they've never felt so relaxed before. You're invited to discover experiences you can only find in Texas. Visit TravelTexas.com and plan your trip today. Let's Texas.